This is my first step on the Camino de Santiago, the oldest pilgrimage in Europe and one of the oldest hiking trails in the entire world, having been walked for over 1,000 years. But I went with a lot of questions. Why have people been walking hundreds of kilometers, sometimes thousands across Europe to get to the end city? And why is the hike so popular, being one of, if not, the #1 most hiked trail on Earth? I was embarking from Sarria, Spain, a journey to the end destination of Santiago de Compostela, around 115 kilometers. Now, as I start the first leg of the hike, I want to explain why I joined this walk, especially because I'm in my last year of high school and taking 2 weeks off school might not be a really good idea. Well, it was simple. My dad asked me to come with him, and I was excited to spend time with him. My classes aren't that difficult this year, and I've never been to Spain, with the Camino being an awesome hike. And part of why I decided to come is because I didn't know much about it. I mean, there are bigger mountains in Italy or Canada, there are older ruins in Jordan or Turkey, yet still the trail averages hundreds of thousands of official pilgrims per year, and the numbers are growing. And they were all going to this one end cathedral, which I was super curious to see, seeing as it was causing millions of people to walk hundreds of miles. Now let's slow it down a bit and focus on the experience. Good morning, guys. We're finally on the Camino. This is great. It's so beautiful out here. I'm so excited to do this. This is great. But a couple of things have been going wrong too. As you can see, I don't currently have a jacket. And that's fine for the current environment, because where we're at, it's not super rainy and wet yet, but it was raining a lot last night. Raining a good deal this morning. And for the region I'm in right now, in Sarria, in Galicia, actually pretty much the whole trip, it should be getting pretty wet. So I have no clue how it's going to fare without a jacket. It could get really bad. Oh, here's another trail marker. So what exactly is the Camino? Basically, it's a network of pilgrimages in Europe that lead to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela in Spain's northwestern province of Galicia. Its significance has its roots in Catholicism, where there is a legend of a hermit finding the remains of St. James, a famous religious figure and a follower of Jesus. Now, how valid this story is questionable, but it's really cool, and thousands of people have walked the Camino because of this. I mean, El Camino de Santiago just means the walk of James, though sometimes people also call it the Way of James or the Path of James, partially because people will bike, horse ride, or even sail parts of the Camino. And it's become common for non-Catholics, non-Christians, and non-Catholic Christians like myself. And the end is allegedly where James is buried, so a lot of people have that religious motivation, but a lot of people also walk it because of the history, nature, and physicality of it. I had a little bit of all of these motivations, but I didn't go entirely prepared. You need to understand that the section of the Camino that I was doing is in northwestern Spain, one of the absolute rainiest places in Spain and all of Europe. This extreme weather has led to pilgrims of the Camino to quit and trips to be cancelled because it can get so wet. And I was going in October, one of the rainiest months of the year. So when I woke up the first day of the Camino, I naturally checked my luggage for my really nice rain jacket so I could wear it, but it wasn't in my luggage. Now, I know that it looks fine right now, but the weather forecast said that it was supposed to get bad within the next few days. And some of the days were walking more than 25 kilometers. Imagine walking the entire day in the cold and wet with a backpack. Sounds fun. As I continued walking to the end destination of Santiago de Compostela, everywhere I'd been seeing these large, ornate, rectangular buildings, and I was so confused as to what they were. I mean, I hadn't seen them when I landed in Madrid, I'd never seen them in North America, or anywhere else I'd been, yet they were in nearly every yard. I had a few theories, including standing tombs, and smokers like I'd heard of in Sweden, but luckily there was a sign put up along the way that explained. They are oreos. Oh my gosh, I nailed that first time. Basically large granaries for corn, grain, churros. Okay, maybe not churros, but the churros in Spain are really good. The mystery was solved. And actually I talked to the guy that owned the house where the sign was put up, and he put up the sign because years ago he had walked the Camino and he had been confused by them also. So he put the sign up for other travelers so that we could understand what they were. And eventually he bought the house there because he liked the Camino so much. And that's just one example of the phenomenon that the Camino de Santiago is. People are just obsessed with it. There's been a movie about it called The Way, which garnered quite positive reviews, and that publicity is probably part of why the Camino has grown so much in recent years. But I was now arriving at the first town out of 6 I was going to go to along the Camino, Porto Marin. Okay, so we are definitely officially in Spain now. It's funny because we moved from Madrid, which was totally in this dry area, over to Galicia, this province which is just wet everywhere, hiking through the mist. But it wasn't really rainy, so it's fine that I didn't have a raincoat. We're at this really cool place that's on a river, and there are multiple super old bridges. And I was reminded about how back in Canada, it would be like if you saw a staircase like one that's right over there, or a bridge like this, you'd think maybe 100 years old, and that would be really old. But for here, this could be several hundred years old, and some of the other buildings could be over a millennia old, and that's just wild. Now we're gonna get some food, hopefully, and then head to our hotels. Porto Marin was a really beautiful little town with the river out front and the hills around and the town on the slope. I mean, even if you don't go on the Camino de Santiago, I'd totally recommend coming here for a day. As I get going for day 2, one thing to note is that all over Spain they love to use motion activated lights. So in all of the hostels and hotels, you'll find that the lights keep turning off, which is something to know before you go. Now, one of the things that you need to have along the Camino is your passport. Because all along the Camino, in every shop, hostel, restaurant I entered, there were these little stamps. And so you stamp up this little book to remember where you went and mark your progress. And even though I was only on my 2nd day of walking, it was already one of the most fun parts of the journey. I stopped to have lunch, but as the day was going on, I noticed that the rain was starting to get thicker, stronger. So guys, the fabled rain that I was hearing about is finally here. I mean, it's not thick rain, it's more like a really strong mist. Not sure how well you can see it on camera. It's so tiny. It was at this point in the journey, almost at my second city, where the rain really hit. Not just the strong mist anymore, but a heavy, powerful storm. I hope it's not enough to end the trip. We're here, kind of. Okay. I ran pretty much all the way through Palace de Rey, this city, to the hotel, to the hostel. I'm absolutely drenched. Oh, probably shouldn't have done that. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to change, maybe have a shower, drink some water since I haven't had water for like 2.5, 3 hours, and then we'll have a little debrief. Okay, well that was something. Look right now, look at that. It's just, if you don't call that pouring, I don't know what pouring is. So, basically, I walked and then ran through that because I had to go to Palace de Rey, right? That is the city we're in here on this segment of the Camino. That's where we're sleeping tonight, in this really nice hotel room, hostel room. But the thing about this hostel is that it's on the other side of the city from where you come in on the Camino. So it was another 20 minutes to get to the hostel once I finally got to Palace de Rey, and then I just ran because I was absolutely soaked, and it got so bad when I was out there that I just had to stop filming with my camera because it was so wet. But we're here now. It was a good hike, good day. My legs are a bit sore than yesterday, but I have a feeling tomorrow I'll be a bit better, and the day after I'll be fine. I'll just cruise through the rest, right? We've got 3 or 4 more days. I'll put it up on the screen. I will catch you either later tonight or mañana. As day 3 goes along, the halfway point on my Camino, I want to tell you about the animals of the Camino that I saw. All over the trail there are numerous cats. There are also adorable dogs wandering along the trail. Like, where is he going? Also, there are deer. I only saw a deer once while off trail in the woods, but they ran way too fast for me to capture them on camera, so let's just pretend that this is them. This definitely isn't in Washington. No. As I walked along, seeing the dozens of quaint medieval towns, I was excited to finally see what the end city would be like. Would it be the biggest medieval town I've ever seen? I don't know. I knew that the hotel that me and my dad were supposed to be staying in the end city would be a converted monastery from the 16th century where monks used to live, which is absolutely awesome. I'm trying to make it to Melide before the rain hits. I don't know if that'll happen. I'm about 5 or 6 kilometers away, so hopefully it's fine. There's one dude in my group who got up before breakfast and left, so he's probably there already. But aside from that, I'm probably at the front of the group. See you soon. Anyways, soon enough I was entering Melide, the 3rd city, and eating more churros. Luckily I made it right before the rain hit. Okay guys, it is day 4, but finally we are getting some sun. So now it is the classic Spain that you expect. I mean, kinda. I'm super grateful for it, and I hope that it kind of holds out until we get to Santiago de Compostela. Okay, guys. Man, it's beautiful out here. Even the smoke coming out of that house, of the chimney, like look at that. So, today we walked like 19 kilometers, and tomorrow we're gonna walk 19 kilometers, and then we're gonna be at Santiago de Compostela. So we're almost done our journey. This is so awesome. I can't believe it. When I look on a map and I look at where we started in Sarria, because we're doing the little Camino, where we started in Sarria, and then where we are now, it's a noticeable difference. You can really see that size and that change from space, and it's just crazy. This is the longest hike, longest walk that I've ever done. My last record was 60 kilometers on the Sunshine Coast Trail, but here, we're already over 80 kilometers, and tomorrow we're gonna be at 115. I'm gonna go to bed now, gonna say goodbye to you guys, but tomorrow, we're gonna be making the final push over to Santiago de Compostela. I'm so excited for this, guys, and I'm so excited to bring you guys along and show you guys the entire journey from beginning to end. As day 5 came to a close and day 6 began, I felt a little bit emotional. Maybe it was because of the beautiful steel tongue drum music in the woods, the dramatic overcast skies harkening back to the start of my Camino, the good conversations that I had been having with my dad and new friends that I'd met along the Camino, or the fact that Santiago de Compostela was right around the corner. But there was definitely something. The Camino was more than just a walk in the woods. It's an ancient pilgrimage, a religious walk that people have been hiking for over a millennium. And I was walking over the same steps that have been walked by millions before me. The rain had tried to stop the trip. My camera tripod had tried to stop the trip. But in the end, they just added to the experience. The last night we stayed in the beautiful Hospederia San Martino Pinario. We saw the cathedral and we claimed our Compostela certificates, which all pilgrims who walked more than 100 kilometers get at the end. It was a great trip and I'd recommend it to nearly everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.